I was watching the Midas Touch with Ben Meiselas, and I can't believe what he just reported on when it came to the House and the members and what can and cannot be said about someone in the House of Representatives. Now, a lot of times when you see clips of the Senate or the House of Representatives, you will hear them say, my friends on the other side of the aisle, or my distinguished colleagues, or that gentleman or that gentlewoman.
Instead, my friends over on the other side of the aisle.
They will never say a name, because you cannot say a person's name on the House floor or the Senate floor, because it's like you're calling someone out. Now, even though you can address that person who just spoke, you can't say them by name. It's kind of like keeping decorum, so there's no tit for tats when speaking. Democrat representative from Massachusetts, Jim McGovern, was on the House floor speaking, and he mentioned the GOP nominee or potential nominee, Donald Trump, in his criminal trials.
Maybe they want to distract from the fact that their candidate for president has been indicted more times than he's been elected. Maybe they don't want to talk about the fact that the leader of their party is on trial for covering up hush money payments to a porn star for political gain, not to mention 3 other criminal felony prosecutions he's facing. Now, I understand why my Republican friends want to distract from Donald Trump. They don't want to talk about how Trump had the worst jobs record since the Great Depression, how he sold out our allies and empowered our adversaries. So they bring silly things like this to the floor to deflect blame and distract from the fact that they have no real vision, just division, and no real plans to make life better for the American people. And with that, I reserve my time.
Now, there's only one Speaker of the House, but the guy that's up there right now, I'm not sure what his name is, he's not the actual Speaker, but when you're up there presiding as Speaker, they address you as the Speaker. Listen to what he says about those attacks.
The Chair would like to remind members to refrain from engaging in personalities towards presumed nominees for the office of the President.
Apparently, this Congress can't get anything passed, but what they did get passed was a rule that says no member of Congress in the House of Representatives can speak ill will on or speak ill about or toward a presumptive candidate for a certain party. Yeah,
Mr. Speaker, a few moments ago, I was admonished for stating the simple fact that the former president was indicted by a grand jury and is on trial in a court of law. That's not my opinion. It's just the truth. So I have a parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman will state his inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, has the chair determined it's unparliamentary to state a fact?
The chair is not in a position to determine the veracity of remarks made on the floor.
Well,
that members must avoid personalities.
Yeah, well, that's unbelievable. Last week during debate, a Republican member of this House said, and I quote, "Watch the former president of the United States being hauled into court day after day with a sham trial," end quote. He wasn't admonished. I just referenced the same trial, and I was.
And so he stood up and asked for clarification, and they gave him clarification. Like, yeah, you cannot talk about just like we cannot admonish the president or talk bad about the president, we cannot talk about any candidate for president, even if they have not received the actual nomination. So he's like, what is going on here? You guys said this, but I can't say that, or whatever. So he goes and tries to say it again. And the GOP on the other side starts screaming that they take down his words.
And yet, in this Republican-controlled House, it's okay to talk about the trial, but you have to call it a sham.
You take down his words.
It's okay to say the jury is rigged.
Mr. Speaker, I demand that his words be taken down.
It's okay to say the court is corrupt,
Gentleman will suspend.
but not Trump is corrupting the rule of law.
The chair is prepared to rule. The words of the gentleman from Massachusetts accused the presumed nominee of the office of president of engaging in illegal activities. The presumed nominee for the office of president are according to the same treatments under the rules of the decorum in debate as a sitting president. This practice is memorialized in Section 370 of the House Rules and Manual. This is warranted even though a candidate may not have officially obtained the party's nomination. Without objections, the offensive words are stricken from the record.
Now, this has been cut short because Ben Meiselas and the Midas Touch, that video went for like 17 minutes. So I'm not going to get all into the weeds of it. But he did mention some rules back from 1988, and he mentioned some rules from now. So what they're saying is no one can attack a presumptive candidate for a political party in the House of Representatives, even though the man did not solely or fully characterize Donald Trump's name and only stated facts. I understand if you're talking about hyperbole and you're just saying, hey, you know, the GOP has a bad candidate. But when you're speaking facts, you cannot admonish a GOP candidate. This is how far down deep in the rabbit hole MAGA has gone, and the House of Representatives has gone for MAGA. You can't even talk facts about, you can't speak ill will on a person running for the office on their side of the aisle. That sounds like Vladimir Putin. It sounds like Kim Jong-un. It sounds like Adolf Hitler. You can't speak ill will about them either. What do you think?